Hey everyone, welcome back to the Working Dirt channel. So if you're new to the channel, I'll have you know that we bought a 50-year-old dilapidated campground, and in order to get these campsites back up in running condition, we have to do a lot of things. We need to get the electrical fixed, we need to get the water running, the campsites level, we need to install some artificial grass, maybe some logs and stones around them. In order to do that, we need to first get a bunch of wood out of our way. So we are going to start with grading this area, which will be our storage yard, and we'll put all our wood there, and then we can continue to work on the campsites. Stick around. Best way of getting around the property, screw those ATVs and UTVs. Use your Chevrolets and a nice mountain bike. We'll still actually get a UTV. In fact, I think Jeremy's trying to get his dad's as we speak, but for now, this mountain bike is the fastest way to get around. So, I want to kind of show you where our campsites are. So as you see, this is the back of Linnell's house, and she'll probably get mad I'm showing you all those bags of cans she has to recycle, but over here is actually the first campsite. Actually, there's two. They put actually two campsites where that house was, but the house obviously is taking place of them. Then this is one right here, but they crushed the electrical to it. Someone did. I think someone backed into it. So this, where I'm riding, could be a campsite. And right here is a hose bib for campers that would be over there. There's a little power outlet right there, and right there. So there's like 3 big campsites there, and then 2 right here, so they could share this hose spigot. There's a lot of power, not enough hose spigots. I'm guessing some of them got broke and they just capped them off. But we're gonna move all this material storage up to the top of the hill up there, because this is actual campsite. As you can see, there's a power outlet right here for an RV, but we plan on making this kind of the kumbaya campsite area, or fire pit area. We'll put a fire pit there, and we're gonna use those IBC totes to store all our firewood that's over there in, and once we have it stacked in there, we'll move it up to the top where we'll store a bunch of stuff. So let me just take you to, right now I'll take you to the campsites. We're trying to get ready for the big bash because well, we're gonna have a lot of people over, and I don't know, we'll probably have like 10 RVs, so we want to get the power going and the campsites clean. So here's one. You see there's a power outlet by the tree. So left of it where the wood is, that's where someone can stay. And then there's a power outlet right behind this trailer. Someone could stay there. They could share this flat area. And then behind my Scout, which I have to move the Scout, my baby, someone can pull in there in these oak trees, and there's a power outlet right there. So you see there's rocks here and there. We cleared out some poison oak, but the big thing is, hopefully you can tell on camera, is when we first bought this place, you couldn't see through these trees. Everything was kind of almost touching the ground. We took up about like 12 to 16 feet of branches where we could, and so people can drive through here. You know, we're starting to clear out the campsites that are closest to the house for when guests are here, and then later we'll branch out and get the ones that are across the road and farther back over there. But let me take you up the hill a little bit. I'll show you the last few campsites I want to get ready for the big bash. And we're having to reestablish the roads because it's kind of hard to see what they originally did when they built this place. So we're gonna kind of make our own. So this is kind of a road through here. And you could pull in one RV right here, and there's a power module right there. There's where you see that pink flag in the distance. There's another spot. So they kind of come in diagonally. And I guess what they want to do is back out and then pull forward, and they could do a big loop around there when they leave. And then there's 3 spots here. There's a power module there, right behind that tree, and right there. So Right now everything's having evening sun, which is good because that's your hottest part of the day. So once we flatten areas for their trailer and their camp spot, we'll be good. But these ones on the hill, I need to kind of grade and dig in, cut and fill basically, kind of like when you do for homes. Cut into the hill, pull that cut in and fill so you have a bigger flat area. That's the game plan at least. So I'm gonna get on the tractor. No one's here except me. And I just wanna have some fun. Okay friends, this is the kind of top garden area, we call it. They had it fenced off, we think, for gardens because there's rows and there's irrigation. It's definitely due for some maintenance. And we are going to scrape this with the tractor. Maybe put some rock down later, but that's where we can store a lot of materials. Hopefully. I think it'll work all right. I don't think we need to use it for anything else. So also, by scraping this ground, it'll help, you know, prevent fires and whatnot. I'm gonna show you something else here. This area was really infested with poison oak and bushes out to this point, but we've been slowly getting closer and attacking it. We sprayed it with some poison oak poison, but I'll show you, well, at least we found out exactly why it got its name, because it likes to live amongst and within the oak trees. So if you see right there, it's all up inside the tree. Those little vines right in that fork, they go all the way in, coming from the ground. Some come up close to the base, and then this is all dead that we cut, and it's hanging in the fence. That's why it's still here, because we're gonna slowly pull it out. Here's a piece that didn't die that we pulled out yesterday. And these little tentacles will, if you touch them, they're gonna leave that oil residue. But there's a bunch of stems along that fence and they're just coming up and over, creeping out. But little by little, we'll get it under control. Because Jeremy's making a huge garden in the front of our property, we didn't have a problem with turning this space into a storage yard. Although it did make me a little sad. I could tell someone put some effort in here, putting drip lines, which you see me pulling out some of those, plus sticks. They also graded the tiers, as I mentioned, and it was some type of orchard, I'm guessing, back then. Here I'm ripping out one of those plants. There's not much left, so we just decided to flatten it all and use it for storage. If we ever want to turn it into a garden later, we can. But being that this is one of the higher spots on the property, it has good sun, which obviously made good for a garden, but it will make good for drying the wood that we split out really fast. So on with the clearing. All right, I've only spent about 2 hours and we got basically, actually 3.5 tiers graded. This one, that one, and then half of that one. And I went around this little rock hill right here, but I need Jeremy or someone or myself to trim more trees so I can get under there better. But I need to get rid of this tiny old lemon tree. And don't worry, we're gonna plant plenty of fruit trees in a different position, but or a place down there. So I need to pull this out so I can grade a slope to these different tiers. man, I'm actually extra sad about that. I don't know what, maybe crab apples, but that was a dinky tree. We'll plant some better ones. Costco ones. So we have enough to feed 5-10 families off one tree. Okay, here you can see me starting to grade the big yard, and because this ground isn't super hard, although there is some good clay and some loam in it, it was going to be easy enough to rip up, but I was taking 1-inch depth passes with my rippers, not to overload my tractor, especially on a warm day. It's probably like 95 degrees right now. I try not to do things in the middle of the day to put less stress on the equipment, but you know, sometimes you got to get things done. And but nonetheless, I decided to make as many cross hatches and diagonal passes with the rippers so I can rip the ground up, and then after I rip it several inches down, then I was going to use the scraper box to actually pull and push the dirt towards the side you see me pulling it right now, the lower side, and it worked out pretty good. So once I was all done, I had you know, a slope that was good for water runoff, probably 1/4 inch per foot, if not a hair more. But the grader box is not any fancy model or brand, it's just a generic one that came with the dealer, but definitely makes a difference having the box at the right angle so that you can most efficiently drag or push dirt the way you need to. But I just had fun. I made a ton of passes, and I did it in it's a 3-range transmission on the Branson 3015H, and the first gear is what I kept it in all day. Sometimes I put it in the second or middle speed, whatever you want to call it, but that's only if I wasn't really pulling the load much. All right, we're pretty much done now with the grading up there. I'll take you back up there to show you the finished product. I'd still like to put some fabric down and maybe some rock on top, but I think the rock's definitely gonna have to wait. As you can see, red rock is dirty now, but it's working dirt. All right, so here's how you enter the storage yard now. And I'll have to show a before clip, but as you can see, we filled in probably a good foot of dirt this whole side, and it'll slowly, you know, kind of make an edge, but I ran over it, I don't know how many times, 60 times, so it's packed pretty well. It'll still need to be watered, of course, and these are more native ground, obviously, because I cut into them. And I'll leave that higher ledge for storing other stuff and also give them some privacy. Maybe put some of the IBC totes along the back or something. We'll see. All right, well, as you can see, I'm pretty satisfied with how the yard came out to store all that wood, but now we have a bunch of grading to do in the campsites, and better yet, I have a new piece of equipment that I'm excited to show you guys, because this thing, once I got it home, was more breathtaking in person on our property than it was looking at the ad, and you guys are gonna like it, so stick around. And again, we're building these campsites just based on our own kind of experience of camping, but I would love to hear comments and suggestions about what you've seen at campgrounds, or how things should maybe be arranged, or things we could add, you know, in the long run and over time, because, you know, we are on a budget here, and we'll definitely incorporate those. So thanks for watching. It helps our channel support veterans, trails, and charities each quarter, so thank you for that. Until next time, buy a tractor.